Ready? Take one.
Niggas talk about how they left.
Yeah, how everybody doing? Welcome to the Two Guys, Four Eyes podcast. I'm Rex Million. I got a few co-hosts. They wasn't able to be here. Shout out my boy Repo. Shout out Big Mello. Shout out Mo. But I definitely got somebody with me today though. I got my big brother Primo. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
What's the word, man?
Yeah, everything good, man. How you doing, man? How you doing today, Primo? What's up, baby?
I'm all right, man.
What's up?
Regular. Can't
Life
complain,
is good,
man.
right?
Yeah, man. Just trying to keep getting to it. That's all.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yesterday I actually went to one of my best friend's baby showers yesterday. Shout out my boy Marco. We was there yesterday. It was a good look. I had the whole family there. I was having a conversation with him, right? I go to him. I wish him congratulations. Congratulations. I hug him and everything. And then he go, yo, you the Godfather, right? Like, I got a little emotional. I shed a tear and all that. I can't lie. And, I have no kids. So, when he made me the Godfather, it just made me go,
Feel important.
Yeah, you feel me?
Nothing wrong with that, man.
I told him, like, I was like, let me just... Now it's like ain't nothing gonna happen here. It don't happen to me first. So now I feel like I got to step up.
Right.
Just be the best Godfather I could be. I right or wrong, Primo. I wasn't like bragging the whole time. I wasn't Godfather shit all day.
Everything was that's Godfather. Like I was trying to get a drink all night. I know Marco was moving around. I'm like, yo, where you get that drink from? Like,
he wanted me to get him.
That's Godfather stuff. I was like, all right.
He want me to get him the drink.
So
I
didn't even get a drink.
He like, yo, get me the drink. And I'm like, yo, bro, drinks is in the back, God. What's up? You know what I mean? I'm the Godfather. That's why I can get it.
I was trying to use your status, brother. You should have, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, bro. That's why I'm the Godfather, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I wanted you to use the status to get me the drink, so I ain't have to go.
Yeah, but what I told you, though, it wasn't no more cups, right?
That's how it go, man.
Nah, I mean, yeah, but it was some cups, but I like, they was all closing up and all that. I didn't see nothing. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't see nothing. But Godfather shit. But how's everything? I mean, I ain't gonna lie, we had a good couple weeks, man.
Yeah, man. Video. Started shooting another video. So
yeah, that's another thing I want to do too. I want to promote that Not Them I'm Him video. You go to the YouTube channel. Go to my YouTube channel. It's definitely on there right now. Me, my brother Supreme Dream featuring Mike Major. We definitely had the family there. And it's one thing about my team. About our team. I should say our team. And you never gonna know which one is the boss, which one is the leader, because we always look good together. So
that's a fact.
Girls come around us and they go, "Is this the crew?" Rather than "Who's the boss? Who's this?" They don't ask questions. They just go, "Is this the crew?" So that's just that's a beautiful thing when you got a team like that.
That's a fact.
I'll get into that. I got a few topics I want to get into. The whole purpose of Two Guys, Four Eyes is kind of like to wake your intelligence up. That's why we kind of got the light bulb and, certain situations. So we want to wake your intelligence up, even with our topics, even when it comes to life. And that's just where we're going to go with it, So whenever, we're going to get started. I got a few topics I want to bring up, you know what I'm saying? My main topic that I want to talk about first is like, and I want to ask your opinion on this too, Primo, like, how do you feel about like division and unity? Like, what's your opinion on that? Like, how you feel about that? Before I kind of like give my word on that.
It just comes with the territory, People would rather us be divided, just so they could break the chain and get between us. But I would rather us as a people to be, unified, because we stronger that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, people see us walking down the street, like me and you, just being on some brother twins, you know what I mean? Like, It's people just I like seeing y'all together. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just looks better. Like, man, if you by yourself or I'm by myself most of the time and people don't see us, it's like, yo, what's going on? Yo, they good? Like, they just start having questions. Like, you know what I mean? Yo, they not speaking or something? Like, even though it's just life stuff happening, you know what I'm saying? But, even down to where, groups or, crews, like,
Nah,
I think things could be, solved with a conversation. So if somebody does feel like things are divided, you know what I'm saying? Like, just have a conversation about it. Maybe you might not be, maybe you just overthinking something. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, you're absolutely right. And you know what I mean? Me personally, it's like when it comes to that, like it comes to teams and division and unity, it may be like some people may not really understand the mission. So some people may get a little like not angry, but they don't understand it. They're confused. So it makes them a certain way when it's like really sit down, communicate, and learn what's really going on as far as the situation, so that way you're not divided.
Right.
So certain people shouldn't feel divided when you just sit down, have a conversation. That's what the unity comes in. When you sit down and go, listen, I don't know what's going on with this. I don't know what's going on with that. Right. Rather than go mumble or go, oh, they doing this. They think they better. And it's like, nah, we're not thinking we better. If you really sat down at the table, you will understand what's going on. So if you're not at the table, and I'm not going to be funny, I'm going to be real. If you sitting at the kiddie table, you don't really understand. So you watching us at the other table, and it's making you feel some type of way, when you should just come to the table and really holler at people. Like, don't sit at the kiddie table. That's a punishment table. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And we're not punishing nobody. It's unity. So don't feel like, even if you're at the kiddie table, recruit the kiddies and keep the kiddies strong and make them learn what's going on. I don't know. If I'm bugging, or just let me know in the comment section what y'all think about that. You know what I'm saying? As far as the kiddie table and far as intelligence, as far as the division and the unity. Let me know what y'all think about that. Like, anything else you want to add on that, Primo? You want to add something?
Man, you at the kiddie table, man. You just got to grow up so you come to the grown table. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, if you don't understand, sometimes people get upset about things they don't understand. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. I feel you, though.
It don't mean that you wrong or right, but it don't always got to be a right or wrong situation. Just explain yourself. Then the person could say, oh, I ain't know it was like that, or I didn't know you was looking at it like that. Yo, my bad. Nah, but I'm trying to do it like this. Yeah, you my man. Like, however it go.
Right. Right. Like lack of communication is always complications.
That's a fact.
And that's the thing that people don't understand. And then that's when it gets physical between friends or between people you knew your whole life and grew up with or anything like that. So it's I over E, intelligence over emotions. You know what I'm saying? You always got to be intelligent when it comes to situations. That's why communication is key.
Right.
You know what I mean? I made amends with a lot of friends and a lot of people that I knew because of putting your ego to the side and just having a conversation, because maybe you may be overthinking. You know what I'm saying? If you overthinking it, it's cool to overthink. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, I'm wrong. I apologize. That way you keep the unity strong. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's all. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, just keep yourself, just keep your faith. Keep your faith in God and keep yourself strong. And because a lot of things is unnecessary when it comes to conflict anyway, So, it's another thing I want to kind of get into right now. And it's like, I kind of feel like it's more personal when it comes to me. You know what I'm saying? My Primo can also relate to this too. You know what I mean? But being an underdog and waiting your turn. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, I'm gonna speak on this maybe briefly, and I'm gonna talk to Primo about this because this is something personal with me. Like, when I was younger, I was the underdog. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. It made me the person I am today. But I was the underdog. Primo could tell you, back then, we was doing the music and doing what we was doing and trying to get on. Primo was hot first. Primo was the first one. You know what I'm saying? He was the one that was like, everybody, had the ladies when he was rapping and they stomping their feet and all that. He know what I'm talking about. And then you know, Dro got hot. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Preem is hot, Dro hot, Rex, he alright. You know what I'm saying? That's what an underdog. But see, me, I never hated towards Preem and Dro. What I kind of did was I learned their music and became a hype man until I got to the position where I got a little wavy. So I learned my brother music. I learned Dro music. So when they used to rap, I'm rapping they rhymes. You know what I'm saying? And people would go, "Yo, Rex, you gonna rap?" Nah, I ain't rapping. I'm with them. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you just gotta know how to just open the door. You know what I'm saying? If they hot, let them be hot. Be with them. You know what I'm saying? Make sure, keep them lit. You know what I mean? But my thing was always energy. I'm gonna keep the energy for them. So that way when they rap, I did that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but Primo, you know, what's your opinion about like underdog, you know, being an underdog? You know, I know, you know, you don't know nothing about
man,
that.
I was always
you don't know nothing about
I was always the man, bro. Nah.
Talk your shit, God.
But you know, I was a silent underdog because I was too scared to look whack, like, or somebody wasn't impressed with. Not in a bad way, like, cause I was like, always,
I mean, I was writing rhymes.
I was writing rhymes in the crib before I started to go outside to rap them. I was spitting them to, you know, R4, our older brother. I would rap to him.
Yeah, shout out R4, shout out my older brother.
I would rap to him for years, bro. Like, and I would say out of like 10 rhymes, probably to when I got to like the 8th rhyme, cause like, all right, from the 1 rhyme to the 7th rhyme, it was like, yo, that's all right. Yeah. All those songs, all them verses, that's all right, bro. That's all right. By the 8th rhyme, yo, that's hot. Once I got, yo, that's hot right there.
Yeah.
I ran with whatever flow was on that. You know, I was like 12 years old, so I don't really remember. But when he said that was hot, I stuck with that. You know what I mean? And I just started to just keep writing. I was writing verses, then it became songs. You know, it's easy to just, gun bust all day on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I ain't want nobody to say my shit was whack. So I was just trying to be on point, you know, to somebody that was older. Like, you know, R4 was older than me.
Yeah.
Well, us, I should say.
Yeah.
And then once he liked something that I was spitting to him, I'm like, all right, if he like it, hopefully I could go outside now and I could rap. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna give you your flowers now. I don't even know if you remember. I remember you was probably like 12, 13. I remember my older brother, R4, told you like, yo, you sound like Jadakiss.
Yeah, that's a fact.
We didn't even know who Jadakiss was at the time. Like, I ain't know who Kiss was. Like,
we knew who the Locks was, but I ain't know them individually.
I ain't know the Locks. I ain't know nothing. Like you know, like me personally, like Styles is my favorite rapper. You know this, Primo. Styles is my favorite rapper. But at that time, he was saying you sound like Jadakiss. Like, I think Biggie was still alive.
This is like 96.
Yeah, Biggie
95.
was still alive. I think Pac had just passed, but Biggie was still alive at the time. Yeah. And he compared you to Jadakiss. It's like he knew that my older brother knew that Jadakiss bars was crazy then, and the consistency Kiss had. I feel like you had the same consistency.
I guess on the block. Type, yeah.
Nah, period though. Like, you know.
Yeah. I was just like I said, B. I ain't want nobody to say, yo, that I don't like that. Yo, you trash, bro. You know what I mean? So I made sure I had about 50, 60 rhymes, like, memorized in my head too. You know what I'm saying? So it was like nonstop, like, you know, battles, you know, just ciphers. You know, and that was like the craft. Like at that time, we all just loved the rap.
Nah, that's
you know
a fact.
What I'm saying?
And
it didn't have to be an actual topic. Just have some catchy punchlines.
Facts.
You know, put words together properly.
Yeah.
You know, flowing. You know.
Yeah, and you know, Primo, he actually gave us the format. You know what I'm saying? I remember we used to be in the crib back in the day, and he used to always say, hey, yo, Dro, Rex, yo, rap like this. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna give y'all the format right now. I can't do that. But Primo was the one that said, yo, rap like this, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and we caught on to it. I don't know how he knew so early about that. Like, you know, I remember we was kids, like, and he was the one like, yo, rap like this because that's the sound. And when you do it like that, I'm telling you, boom, 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 which means with Primo telling us to do that, he already perfected it at the time. You see what I'm saying? So it was just, you know, that was real. Like, that was a real moment because we was kids. And I remember, I don't know, people might not admit it. I'm gonna admit it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ran with that, but like I said, I kind of had that Styles P prodigy where I'm gonna talk to you in my raps. I'm not really, you know what I'm saying? So that way, that's what made me stand out. You know what I'm saying? You know,
you do it your own way. It's not like, you know, it was just like, for me, it just like the cadences of the syllables. I just wanted every syllable to match. Now, you don't gotta necessarily rap like that all the time. That's just how I do it. Like, but you know, you could just give him a little melody, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's just what I was doing. I was wanted y'all to be able to do it your own way because I knew you and Joe had it. You know what I'm saying?
He actually wanted us to like do songs as well. Like, you know, he was the one I was like, yo, do songs. I ain't really care for songs. I wanted to rip people's heads off in the street when it came to the bars.
Right,
like,
that's a fact.
I ain't care about that at the time. But he was like, yo, do songs. And, you know, it ain't even registered to me until like maybe about 10 years after when he said it. So it was like, you know what, it is what it is. But he always learned that format. Like, and all it took was from one person to kind of learn the format, to kind of be that coach at that young age, being in the group, you know what I'm saying? But once again, let me know what y'all think in the comment section as far as all that, you know, the underdog situations, you know. Let me know, you know. You know, I'm like life is, you know, life, I could say life always goes for a turn. You know, you just kind of just got to keep your head on the swivel, stay focused on what you're trying to do. You know, I got to be honest, like people wasn't expecting me to like be right here, sitting here, doing these type of things. You know, people don't like, not you, not Rex. Rex ain't supposed to be doing that type of thing. No, not the twins, not him and bro, nah. It's like, but support what we doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause we really trying to make it happen for the you know, for the neighborhood, you know, for the area, for everything. You know what I'm saying? So, and there's never no hate with us, you know. Even if it was somebody else, you know, we will always applaud them and always applaud what they doing, you know. So I want to get into another topic maybe before we take a little break or whatever. You know, I ain't gonna lie. I might give y'all a little video preview. I don't know yet, you know. We're gonna see what happened. But you know, like I said, that Not Them, I'm Him is out right now. New,
that's a fact.
Fresh single, you know what I mean? And it's a very, very, very great video with the team. You know, we all looking good. We all looking like stars, you know. So I'm proud of that. You know, I was real proud of me. I was proud of you too, Preem. I ain't gonna lie. You know, everybody was saying you walked on that. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
you know,
appreciate that.
You know
man.
what I'm saying? We gotta let that. You know, we gotta just promote that even more. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
But, you know, this is the Two Guys, Four Eyes podcast. Once again, it's Rex a Million in the house. I got my brother Supreme Dream with me.
Yes, sir.
You know,
the count.
And you know the whole process is, you know, to wake up your intelligence. You know, keep you on point, keep you on your toes, make sure everything good. You know, I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about, you know, basically staying focused. No matter what people say, no matter what people think. You know, people always gonna have something to say. I'm gonna be honest. People mumble. People say this. People gonna say, oh, I don't know if he really gonna do it. He think he better. But my thing is, you gotta stay locked in. Always be locked in. You know what I'm saying? Always, like I heard a quote that Kobe said once, you know, R.I.P. to Kobe. He went through his situations, you know, we ain't gonna really bring him up. But Kobe was locked in. I remember Kobe always saying, no matter what you go through, stay locked in. You know what I mean? Stay locked in, stay focused on the game. Don't worry about politics. Don't worry about what they saying. Don't worry about what she's saying. Don't worry about none of that. Because once you stay locked in, you're going to be focused, you know? I mean, like, Primo, how you feel about that, you know? What's your opinion on that?
I think that's just how, you know, if you strong and you smart about life, that's the best way to, to kind of move. It's hard to put yourself out there, man. With anything that you think you love to do, your craft. Especially I think like sometimes with music, music.
Yeah, that's a fact.
It dies out and so fast. Like, especially if you underground or you ain't got a record deal or you just up and coming to other people.
Yeah.
You've been doing it for 20 years plus possibly.
Yeah.
But everybody don't really know who you are, And like you said, to stay locked in, that means it's more than the money. It's more about it's more about just the fact that you love to do it, and when you love to do something, I do music forever. Like I don't put no year on it. They do it to hip hop all day, but rock and roll, they be 60 years old. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ain't saying,
and they still going on.
Why you 60 years old, man, still doing rock and roll? You still want to be in a band, like, but you're a 40-year-old rapper, bro. Like it's looked down on, for whatever reason.
Nah, but I feel where you're coming from too, because like people say, oh, it's an age limit on hip hop, or it's an age limit on this, and it's like that kind of irks me a little bit because it's so much talent. It doesn't matter the age, I don't discredit drill because that's a young person's game. Like every form of hip hop is for certain ages.
That's a fact.
Like our hip hop is our age. Like we're gonna understand that. The youth, or I should say the YNs, how I go, I won't say they won't understand it. It'll take them more time to learn that form of hip hop, because that's the form when we was younger, that was our hip hop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why we come with the bars. We got the passion and we feel for that. And it's like, when people say, oh, that's not hip hop, or this ain't hip hop, or that's not hip hop. It's like no one could judge what hip hop is, because hip hop expands.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, it may go certain way, it may not be the best way, but hip hop is always gonna be hip hop. It can't be the same way it was when we came up, because it's a different time, different generations. Everything is different now. So you gotta just kind of respect that, like how we say. You may not understand it, but you gotta respect it. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. You gotta learn to adapt to what's going on, rather than
man. Everything evolves, man. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, only thing I will say, some of the YN, they gotta just let up on the older, like they call us old heads. Yeah, they gotta just let up, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you an old head, bro. Like, it's like, yo, bro, you want to make it to be an old head. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's so, that's. Because all you're going to do is get older, bro. Yeah. Like, you're not going to get younger because you're a YN right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, and at the end of the day, this is just, it's so messed up to say this, but a lot of the YNs, they don't really get to be that age only because of, the controversy, the conflict, and then they get indicted, and then these things happen, and then they got careers. It be rappers too. They got careers where it's like, yo, how you got a whole career, you getting money, you at a certain age, you could really change people's lives, your family, your friends, and then you still want to be, how can I say it, gang. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Don't be like gang. You don't have to be gang. Just stay focused on the business. Kind of learn what's going on. You feel what I'm saying? Don't go, oh man, I gotta be outside still. When you don't really have to. You could just show up to events. This is the thing people don't understand about being outside. Being outside doesn't necessarily mean you gotta be in front of a corner store and be gang. If you outside, that means I'm going to the events. I'm going to my showcases. I'm going here. I'm going there. It's not necessarily about being on your block where you came from, where you grew up, now that you got rich. Because ain't nothing but haters over there. They're not happy for you. They looking for something for you. You know what I mean? Because the ones that's not looking for something for you, they're there with you. So when you going over this, oh man, and there's always somebody grinning in the cut. So it's just certain things you got to understand before you make a certain move.
Right. Yeah. Like you said, it's easy to be outside.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
it's easy to be outside, but then once this is my thing.
Just be productive.
You gotta be right. Be productive and stay out the way. You know,
Right.
Like don't be too involved with what's going on in the streets. You know what I mean? Just be a bit, focus on business so that way you can keep yourself elevated as far as your career. And then you get the endorsements come in, and then people see, oh, he may be outside. And then if you go to your neighborhood, do things positive. Don't just sit out there with the gang and, look out for the kids. Hug the kids. Walk with them. Go in the parks. Yo, we gonna go over here, do barbecues, and just do different things so that way you don't just look like you outside in front of a corner store with your camera out on Instagram Live.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You agree, right, Frank?
That's a fact.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a fact. Like at least, like I said, man, just be productive. If you're going, if you help somebody, if you can, and I don't even mean financially, just with wanting to do something different than just being on the block. That's easy to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, like I know people, they all, it's like, it's nothing wrong with being on the block, me personally, but it's like, when you gotta have some type of motive, ambition to go out there. It's a big world out there. It's a big world. It's a big block too. The block got a lot of buildings and all that. It's cool. I'm like I said, I don't knock it. I be outside. I be on the block. But when I'm on a block, I try to uplift. I try to go, listen, let's do this. Let's make this happen. Let's uplift. In my neighborhood, they got a lot of clothing lines. It's a lot of situations going on. Shout out High Ugly. Shout out Bear Resistance. Bernie B. Shout people. Shout out. And it's a lot of businesses where I really want to kind of set things up where it's like, yo, let's have a business day where everybody who got a clothing line, everybody who do music, and everybody who really doing something for the neighborhood, let's just have a real sit down and talk about a mission. Let's put everything together. Let's get something happening where we could y'all can sell y'all clothes, and then the artists, we could put our music out there. We could really do like a real event. That's just something I want to push for. Like, what you think, Preem?
That's a good idea, man. You know what I mean? Everybody that's trying to make something happen, because it's not, like I said, that's putting yourself out there. Somebody could say, yo, this clothing line is trash. Like, what I mean? But you believe in yourself. You got to start somewhere, and everybody getting together. Kids see that. Oh, they do music. Oh, they got their clothing line.
Absolutely.
Oh, they got a part. Oh, I could do something too.
Exactly.
Instead of just being
in
the streets.
Exactly.
Getting caught up and all that. It's easy to do that, man, but it's harder to make something happen. Put yourself and be consistent about whatever you think you love to do. Yeah,
that's a fact. And even me personally, I got my clothing line too. I got the Happy Smiley Leathers. Shout out my boy Kirby. Me and Kirby, we the partners. Kirby's the owner, but I've been helping Kirby as far as trying to push it out. He want to get the kids involved. I've been doing videos, and every video I do, I put the Happy Smiley Letters on. Just like years ago when I was doing videos, I was putting the High Ugly on. It's all about promotion. It's all about helping our people. It's all about uplifting. It's no hate when it comes to it. You know what I'm saying? I see you got something good going on. I'm going to help the situation the best way I can. I'm going to help endorse the best way I can. And that's how I feel, and that's how Primo feel too. You know what I mean? Now, shout out, I want to give a big shout out right now I want to give a shout out to Happy Smiley Letters, you know what I mean? I want to give a good shout out to our label, Get God Records. I want to shout out Extraordinary Music. That's the production company. Shout out Live. Shout out Marco, Shout my boy Lazy out. Shout G out, yo. What's happening, y'all? Shout out the whole team.
Shout out Scrap.
Yeah, shout my boy Scrap out too, man. Yeah, shout my boy Scrap, And I'm just so, me personally, I'm just so proud of my family, of my team, of the things that we got going on, and the fact that we stay together and we stay united as one. It just makes me feel good. This is what keeps me going, actually, just far as doing everything, I want to shout out the whole top of the block, I want to shout them out as well, DR, what's happening, what I'm saying? I want to give you a shout out as well, because that's my partner, as far as the situations going on with business, and I'm going to get him on the episode soon. I'm gonna get him on there too. I want to shout out Dro Minotti. I'm gonna get him on there too. You know, I want to shout out Young Bear, ATM, Addicted to Music. Shout out Band Boy. You know, it's a lot of love, man. We all family over here. You know what I'm saying? It's no shade. It's no hate. It's 100% love, and we all got love for each other. So if it's not no love, I don't really know what to tell you when it come to that. You know, because just stay over, you know, just keep your distance. We love you from a distance. It'll be a permanent distance because you got to kind of understand what's going on. This is love. This is unity. This is positive. 2 guys, 4 eyes. We waking up your intelligence once again. You know what I mean? Yo, Primo, thank you for everything, man. I appreciate you for being here, man. You know, real talk, man.
So good,
you know what else I want to shout out, man? I want to shout out Bronx Tale Studios, man, you know, for even giving us the opportunity.
Yes,
you know?
sir.
It's a lot of love, you know, and it means a lot from the bottom of my heart because this is something that I'm trying to do now, but I'm doing it. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of people say, oh, yeah, you probably can't do this, Rex. You don't got the voice. You don't got this. Yeah. We doing it. You feel what I'm saying? So you can hate, but you're going to love it eventually anyway. You know, the haters is going to say, but yeah, I see them, but they doing it though, you know, and that's what counts more. So, you know, I love y'all regardless. I appreciate y'all. And, you know, I see y'all on the next run. 2 guys, 4 eyes. Wake up your intelligence. Once again, shout out my brother Primo, man.
Yes, sir, man.
Real
Appreciate
talk.
y'all for
Real
having
talk.
me, man. It's a good look.
Yo,
man.
I'm glad you here, man. I'm glad you here, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I ain't gonna lie. You know, Primo's a busy man. You know, Primo's busy, man. He be getting to it. You know what I'm saying? You know.
I ain't that busy on a Sunday. I be trying to relax, get ready for the next day.
No. I understand,
But you know, gotta support, man.
Yo, listen. It mean a lot for Primo to be here right now. You know, it mean a lot. You know, and I love y'all. 2 guys, 4 eyes.
Yes, sir.
Keep your intelligence woke. You heard?
Yeah.
But I feel you must have forgot like Roy Jones, and I ain't